let's talk about gear. Max, what are you currently using?
I use Tama, the same as my dad, Tama Sabian ProMark, and I have what is it, an Imperial Star kit?
Yeah, you have a Silver Star
Silver
kit.
Star. Okay. Yeah, and I use that, live on all my shows. I use that on the recording for Light in the Dark, and I got a bunch of different Sabian cymbals. I usually have like 3 crashes, 2 Chinas, hi-hats, ride, and then a couple like bells and splashes. So that's usually my setup.
Cool. What are you using right now, Mike?
The same as it's been for the last 20-something years. I'm a Tama Sabian, ProMark, Remo, Latin percussion. I'm a pretty loyal and faithful guy. I don't like to jump around from company to company. For me, it's about developing great relationships with these people, and I've had those great relationships with all of these companies for 20 plus years now. I even have the Tama and the Sabian logos tattooed on me. So obviously, I'm pretty loyal to them.
Yeah. So, I've seen different setups over the years for you, different projects and stuff. Is there one that feels more comfortable and natural than the other? Maybe there's a difference between large and small kits?
I like them all, and that's been one of the fun things for me since leaving Dream Theater is that I'm able to mix up different setups for different bands. With Dream Theater, I always had the mammoth, massive drum kit, and I kind of became known for that, and that's fun. It's nice to be able to put together a kit of anything that your imagination can think up of. Mm-hmm. And that, for me, was fun for all those years with Dream Theater. But to be honest, I wanted to try other things, and that's why, now I mix it up from band to band, and it ranges everything from, the first Winery Dogs tour, I was playing a small 5-piece kit, and then with the more progressive stuff that I do with Neal Morse, I have kind of a middle-sized kit. And then, for the more metal-oriented stuff like Metal Allegiance or Twisted Sister, I still have a pretty big double bass kind of heavy metal setup for those. But to me, I'm enjoying, the range of different setups.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of double bass, you both have a really raw drum sound, which is great because a lot of the overuse of triggering these days is a little bit much. So I wanted to ask you, because I was looking through some of your bigger kits, mid to late 2000s roughly, and I saw at one point you were using a 20-inch and a 22-inch kick. Is that to get a more uneven and raw sound in your double bass?
Well, with those big, massive kits with Dream Theater, they were basically 2 kits in one. So one side was, a traditional double bass setup with 2 22s. And then the other side of the kit was a little bit more experimental. At one point it was a 20-inch kick, and another tour we had a 26-inch kick on that side. So, that side was more about trying different things and, mixing it up a little bit. But I never played 2 different sized kick drums at the same time. It was either one or the other, with those big, massive kits.
Okay, cool. So in general, drummers have a hard time when it comes to staying in shape. You're more of an athlete than a musician half the time. Max, you're still young, so I'm sure that you're in better shape than most for now. But how do you guys deal with or prevent injuries?
Well, for me, I have to I have to get massaged and adjusted from the chiropractor pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Around 2004, I started to develop tendinitis in my right arm, and I did most of the Train of Thought tour with a brace on my arm because I was in such pain. Mm-hmm. And since then, I've been getting massaged regularly, and that really helps me a lot. In fact, I went yesterday and, got a 90-minute one, and I have a masseuse that I go to regularly. And I said to her at the end, it's like, my God, I'm a 48-year-old guy in a 75-year-old man's body. My body just feels so completely beat up from the wear and tear that, from constantly touring and drumming like I do. But you got to take care of yourself, and drumming is such a physical instrument. It's important to warm up a bit before you hit the stage so the muscles are warmed up and so the blood is running.
Yeah. Do you? It's because of that. Do you teach Max about warm-ups and stuff like that?
I haven't, no, but he's 17 years
He's
old.
got
He
a
can
pretty,
handle anything at this point.
yeah, because he's a pretty good showman, and I think it's going to take a toll on his shoulders.
Well, it's true. He headbangs way more than I ever did. So yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff and watch yourself. A very very good friend of mine, Roy Mayorga from Stone Sour. He actually had a bad injury from all that headbanging, and I know Jason Newsted's been through the same thing as well. So it is something you do have to be careful with. And so watch yourself, Max. Take care of it. Take care of that neck of yours.
Okay. So, final question for Max. After these upcoming shows, what's next for Next to None? Are you guys writing new material?
Yeah, we actually have 5 songs written right now, and we're working on some other ones to finish off. And then plan on recording, the next album as soon as we can, whether it be the end of, summer or, next year, and then probably release that as soon as we can. But other than that, we have some tours coming up. Like I said, the Metal Allegiance one, and then some other stuff that we plan on doing. So we're going to be pretty busy. Cool.
Is the new stuff, I don't know if you can say, is the new stuff reminiscent of the older stuff? Is it going in a new direction? What's it like?
It's similar. It's a lot heavier though. So
cool.
It got a lot heavier from the first album. More stuff, in the vein of like You Are Not Me and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we still keep all that technical stuff, odd time signatures and the technical playing. So we want to keep that, but it's a lot heavier.
Awesome. Did you? I mean, I'm sure you grew up, obviously, the kind of stuff that Mike plays. You grew up listening to odd time signature and stuff like that. Is it hard for you to keep up with and to learn and stuff, or does it come naturally?
That actually comes naturally to me. I've never had a problem, with time signatures. I've always understood them. Just changing back and forth between them. It's just something that I guess came natural to me.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
He's pretty awesome with it. A lot of times we'll be listening to music. Like the other day in the car, I was playing him the new Neal Morse Band stuff that we just recorded, and there's just a constant changes in time signatures, and I'll test him, and he gets them all. He'd be like 5, 9, 11, 7. I mean, he knows them just from hearing them and feeling them. So, yeah, pretty awesome.
Okay, sweet. Well, thank you guys so much for talking to me. It was a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for interviewing us.
Yeah, no problem. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
All right, speak to you soon. See ya.
All right, bye.
See ya.